What's up, guys? It's your boy, still needs an intro, and welcome back to another Tuesday of this. Now, in today's episode of Tuesday of this, we're going to be comparing the Magnum's old mod list compared to its new one. Now, the way we're going to do this is we're going to hop over onto CarID.com, the car website that every young automotive enthusiast goes to whenever they very first start modifying their car. And while no, they don't necessarily buy stuff from here, they do basically get a look at what they're going for and where they want to go with their modification journey. So you can see here my wish list for the Magnum. We're going to go and click on this. Now, while this is loading, the wish list is going to be in three different categories. We have the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, the good means it is something that I either already have done to my car or something that I still want to do to my car. And while it may not be the exact same item, the principle still remains the same. Next up is going to be the bad category. Now, bad does not actually mean bad. It just means I did want to do it when I very first got the car, but now I've changed my mind since then. But if this is the look you are wanting to go for, then go for it. I'm not going to criticize you for it. And then we have the ugly. And while yes, this is the smallest category out of all of these lists, it's the most important. But before we get too carried away, let's go ahead and start with the good. So first up on the good list, we have this Duraflex SRT style fiberglass hood. Now the reason this is on the good list is because I still want to do this to my car. You can see here, has the functional air vent that comes down into the corner where the air box is. And with me having the aftermarket cold air intake, it'll just be that much more air getting to my engine. Now, I don't want to necessarily get this one because of the fact that it's fiberglass. I've heard a lot of not so great things about the fiberglass hoods and body panels in general because the fitment is always a little bit off, and with the fiberglass, it is prone to cracking and fraying on the edges. Now, what I've actually wanted to get instead is going to be this carbon fiber hood from truefiber.com. You can see here, this is a wonderful look. It's a little hard to see with the glare, but this has the functional air vent that comes down into the corner, and it actually goes through the hood itself, and it's not exposed like it was on the old one. And then here in the very, very dark of it, you can see the True Fiber logo. And of course, we have that beautiful carbon fiber weave. Next up on the good list is going to be these bronze Hellcat replica wheels. Now, when I very first got the car, this was the set of wheels that I had on my mind all day, every day. I absolutely loved the way the bronze Hellcat wheels looked. I loved the styling of it. And then I saw a set in person, and I saw, it is a little plasticky. You can kind of see it with the finish. It's kind of, you could definitely tell it's a replica. And then kind of killed my dreams even more when I realized everybody, even your mom's Durango, has bronze Hellcat wheels. It is the go-to wheel for most Mopar guys. And so I changed my mind to the most beautiful wheels that I've ever seen planet Earth. These are the bronze Ferrata FR2s. And these things are absolutely gorgeous with their satin bronze finish, the black lip that goes around the edge, and they look good on everything. Next up on the good list, we have the Street Warrior Z26 drilled and slotted brake kit. Now, the reason this is on the good list, again, is because I still want to do this to the car. Now, one difference I have changed my mind on is I wanted to change to just slotted rotors because I've heard a lot of bad things about the drilled portions of aftermarket rotors, and they tend to crack right here in between the two different drills, and then they crack between the drill and the lip. Plus, ceramic pads will make more of a difference in your day-to-day driving than drilled and slotted rotors ever will. So if we hop over to this other link on CarID, you can see these beautiful slotted rotors, and of course the red stuff pads. Now these will wear down to look like this after everything's said and done, but this is pretty much what I'm going for instead. And these are 4 lug, not 5 lug, but it just gives you a visual. Anyway, next up on the good list, we have the black honeycomb mesh main grill. And this is going to be a kind of Chrysler 300 style grill. And that's pretty much the look that I was wanting to go for, this large open mouth. I loved the way that it looked, but I have since changed my mind to this beautiful thing. Now this is on DodgeMagnumGrill.com, and they have custom grills, and you can see that the mesh, the honeycomb part of it, is more resembling to the Scat Pack style honeycomb that Dodge has done over the past few years. You can see this is 4 individual sections. You have the 2 that go along the bottom, and then even more so, they have fog light covers, and you can see that you can completely patch it, or you can have it go around the fog light like these. And then inside of the battery terminals, you can see that you can cover that up here, as well as over the brake reservoir. So I am not sponsored by DodgeMagnumGrill.com, and I am in no way affiliated to them, but if they want to be affiliated with me, I'm just saying I would have no problem with it. But in the meantime, this is what I'm wanting to switch to. Next up on the good list, we have the Spider Halo fog lights. Now these are the smoked version. You can get regular clear ones if you would like. I really like the way that the fog lights look, but I might not end up going with Spider. I may go with either Oracle or Lighting Trends, just so I can have a little higher quality. Last up on the good list, we have the Diablo Sport Trinity 2 Programmer, and I absolutely loved these for the longest time because you have, your speed, your tack right there in the middle. If you have a turbo or a supercharger, you can get boost. Quarter mile times, drag strip times. I mean, you can do as much customization as you want, changing all the backgrounds, changing the setup, everything. And while, yes, it is very cool, you can see here the way that it mounts. It usually either mounts to your windshield or to your dash. Over time, I've kind of not been so fond of just having a big old screen right in front of your face. And I know it is off to the side, but point still stands. Plus, I'm planning on going with a custom tune anyway. I know you can put a custom tune on there, but then I'm just buying 2 tuners rather than 1. Plus, again, I don't have the big screen in my face. Now we're on to the bad list. And again, this does not actually mean bad. It just means that I don't particularly want to do it to my car, but if you do it to your car, I'm not going to criticize you for it. These are the fiberglass side skirts, and plain and simple, this just isn't the look that I'm going for anymore. This would be a good look for if you have bags on your car and you completely air out your car getting ready for a car show or something, or even just a car meet. You air out the bags and you can just set this side skirt straight on the ground and not worried about scraping any of your door panels or rocker panels, anything like that. So not for me, but if you want to do it, then go for it. Second up on the bad list is the Duraflex fiberglass front fender. And honestly, I've kind of gone away from the way that this looks. I'm not a huge fan of it anymore just because the front end is a little too round. The back end is pretty round. And then these are just square lines. So it's square this way, square, 90-degree angle, curve. But even still then, it comes to a sharp point. Plus, I've heard some issues with the fiberglass front ends and the way that the fitment works. It does look cool on top of the fact that it is a functional vent, but with the fiberglass, it doesn't fit super well all the time. Plus, most of the people that you see running these will actually just have them custom made, or they make them themselves. So again, not for me, but if you want to do it, go for it. Lastly on the bad list is going to be the Spec D LED taillights. And the reason this is on the bad list as opposed to the good list, because I was planning on getting these for my car, but I have seen a bunch of these in person and I've seen a ton of them online, obviously. But over time, these individual bulbs will kind of burn out on their own. So then you'll just have like empty spaces on your taillights so that whenever you brake, they're kind of, I don't know, it looks like a kid that's just losing his teeth, kind of. I mean, it doesn't look super great in my opinion. This would have made the good list only if there were more aftermarket options for taillights, because there really aren't very many. This is pretty much the only style for aftermarket taillights that's available for the Magnum. And last but not least, we have the ugly. The ugly means if you do this to your car, I would probably consider not being friends with you anymore or talking to you. And it's for 2 words: spider halo.
And that's all I have to say about that.
And on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up.
Now, if you enjoyed this video, or at least found it entertaining, please be sure to drop a like and share it with your friends. If you'd consider subscribing, click over here. If you want to see what YouTube recommends you watch next, click over here. And as always, I look forward to seeing you guys next time.